All right, guys. So we're going to start by going over last night's homework. To start, I want to review how to do the mineral percentages. So we did already do granite already together. So let's start with diorite. Again, I'm not going to do this for all of it, but I do want to make sure you remember how to use the reference table to figure out the minerals present and the percentage of each in each rock. So the first thing, so you got to find the rock. We're looking for this guy right here in the middle, the diorite. You line your paper. Is that the one we're doing? Yep, diorite. Be careful. See, I just got myself confused. There's 3 D words. So I'm like, which one was I looking at? So double check when you're doing them. Because it would be a very different answer for this D rock and this D rock and this D rock. They'd all be different answers. So again, that's part of reading all the words and doing what they say. So you always find them what's called the midpoint, the middle of the box. It's very easy just to look at the word and find the middle of the word. Line your scrap paper up. Now notice I originally had my scrap paper, it looked a little bit more like this, which I have it lined up in the middle of the word, but you also need to make sure your scrap paper is going nice and straight across, because that will get you very different answers. You have your scrap paper, you mark off the top and the bottom of each section. I always just throw a quick label on there so I remember what each one was, so I don't have to think about it twice. There's multiple ways of figuring out the percentage, but the one I explained was lining up the bottom with the 0. So I did the bottom of the A with the 0, reading the top line. That came right out exactly at the 30 mark for me, for the amphibole. Slide it down to the bottoms of the B is at the 0. And for me, this one's 5, 10, 15% for the biotite. Slide it down one last time. Plagioclase looks like it's coming out at 55% for me. Did you guys have all of those exact, whoa, do you have those same numbers, or were your numbers a little different than mine? So again, I had 55% plagioclase, 15% biotite, and 30% amphibole. Were your numbers exactly the same as mine or slightly different? What were yours? 55 for 5. Uh-huh. 55. Yeah, and then 10 for biotite. Okay, let me just see if it was me or you. And honestly, it doesn't matter. Those were close enough. So you must have gone, I'm thinking, wait, let me just mark off as 60%. I can. Oh, okay. So I think I see what you did. Did you go down the middle of the box? Do you remember? Or were you off to one side? I think you were, because here's where I would get 60% and 10%. Yep. So don't do that. You have to go down the middle. The middle gives you like the average piece. So you still did it like the process right. You just need to remember to go down the middle. If you were off by just like a couple, but that 5 kind of, the 5 kind of was a lot. Yeah. All right. Anybody else have any questions on that one? Again, here are the answers I got for that. Then for basalt, sorry, this one's a little messy. I did 5% amphibole. You might have these written in a different order, by the way, and that's fine too. So I did 5% for amphibole, 10% olivine, 55% pyroxene, and 25 plagioclase. You guys good with those numbers? Did you do a little more? Like but that you have the same numbers, just flipped them. Okay, so again, just be really careful with that. Do your labels as you go across. That might have been the P, you labeled them both P's. Yep. So that's another thing. So if you are just going to do quick little simple abbreviations, I always do plagioclase instead of just a P. I do always abbreviate it plag. Potassium, and not just a P, but I label it pot. Any more questions on that one? All right, so then we're moving on to the rest of it. We've got gabbro and basalt. These two guys right here, gabbro and basalt. What's a difference between them? That's question number A, or letter A.
One's fine and one's coarse.
One is fine, one is coarse. That's one difference. Is that the difference you put down, Phoenix, for letter A? What did you put down?
Yeah, that's fine.
You put one is fine and one is coarse?
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you put? Yep, so basalt is extrusive, gabbro's intrusive. Also correct. Anybody put anything else down? There's lots of right answers here. Another one, you just might have put crystal size. One is less than 1 millimeter, one is bigger than 1 millimeter. Any of those, they will change your second answer here, so explain the difference. If you said something about crystal size or texture, that's due to how fast they cooled. If you said intrusive or extrusive, that's due to where they were formed. So the differences are due to different things, but same concept. So then what do they have in common, even though they're very different rocks? They do still have their color, density, composition, and minerals present are all the same for basalt and gabbro. Then moving on, crystal size is a similarity between rhyolite and pumice. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a difference. Also, pumice is vesicular, rhyolite's non-vesicular. And then going on, which one is vesicular? That's pumice. The rock that's 100% olivine. Did you guys find which rock was 100% olivine? What's the name of the rock that's 100% olivine? Yeah, so here's olivine. We want the rock that when I go ahead and do if I put this in the middle of the word dunite, it is 100% olivine. There's nothing else on there. So the color for that rock would be darker, higher density, and it would be mafic. Then just name the rocks. You guys want to go around the room for this one? Yeah, let's do it. Chris, you're going to be A, Landon B, Drake C, Trenton D, Brooke E, Sam F, Allison G, A, Jenna, B, Olivia, C, Phoenix, D, Alex, Alex S, did I say D? Did I say D? C for you, so D, E, D, A, B, C, D, E for you, Alex R, F, Dylan, G, Alex. All of you go do your letters. Double check them. These letters right here at the bottom. So I said you're doing C. So you're telling me name the rock that is glassy and may appear black. You already did it. You might want to double check. So I know a bunch of you did not do your homework, or a bunch of you are a little questioning your answer. I just gave you a letter. Go back and check your work. Okay, you guys ready? Chris, what did you say A was? Scoria. Who else had A? Do you agree? Scoria? Yeah. All right. A is scoria. Olivia, did you have B? For B? Yeah. You are right. Drake, you had C, right? Yeah. What'd you say? Obsidian. That is obsidian. D, Alex, you had that one? Yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it. I have these words. So I call it periodite. I don't know if that's correct. I don't know. But yeah, what's up, Alex?
I actually have a little bit of that.
Yeah, that's the one with, that's gonna be, where are we? Right there. So it's going to be mostly like a really pretty green. Yeah.
Excellent, right? Or,
That makes sense. E, Alex, you had E, right? Yep. That was yours too. Thank you. Allison, you have F? What was, oh, you had G. Did you have F? Okay.
Oh, you'd be F.
You'd be F. Do you have F?
B.
You didn't do F. Thought you had your homework done.
That's wrong.
It's wrong. Dylan, did you do F? Dylan, what'd you get for F? Basalt.
Oh, then I was right.
Oh, yeah, you guys drive me crazy. And intrusive light colored coarse grain. Alex, you got that? That was yours. You got it? Yep. Granite. Anybody have questions on any of those? No. Yeah, doesn't count now. All right, this next page, this is how the Regents is going to ask questions about the same stuff that we just answered questions about on this page. This page was pretty straightforward, not trying to trick you at all. This page, the Regents, unfortunately, they're a bunch of jerk faces, and they do sometimes try to trick you. Here's what I want to do for the next 5-ish minutes. I would like you to get together with somebody who actually did their work. So 2 people who did their work, get together, compare your answers. For the next 5-ish minutes, those of you who did not do your work, do it now. If you got the same answers as your partner, then I guess you can probably assume you got them both right. If you have different answers from your partner, kind of figure out who was right and who was wrong. If you did not do your homework, I want to see you doing it now.
Not much.
Here, I'll deliver one for you to put that. Well, I heard you. I was saving time. You put it that way.
Yeah. And I got a map too. Nice, okay. I think not. Going back fast, well.
That versus where it's part of the room. Welcome to the rest of the day. It will always go like that. It might seem like it's going slow at the moment, but then when you look back, you're like, where the heck did time go? You can ask your parents, I'm sure they all feel like you guys were just born, just the other.
Yeah, it's actually kind of depressing.
It's actually a very sore subject in my household. My kids, my youngest gets severe anxiety thinking about stuff like that. Yeah, it's something that, and that's what anxiety is. It's something they worry about that you might not worry about. I don't worry about, but it's something that my daughter can just sit there and think about and stress out about, something that doesn't mean anything to me, but for her means the world. So anxiety is a very weird disease. And those of us who don't have it don't understand for the most part. It's not until you see somebody else with it that it opens your eyes. All right, that was about 5 minutes. Hopefully you were able to get through what I was asking you to do. So we'll start with which ones have if you have a high density mineral, what other characteristic is usually true? What did you get for that back table, guys? 2. They are, so for question 1, you picked 2. Okay, so if they have a high density is right here on the reference table. You said they're felsic. That's over here. Our high density, usually felsic. So it's 1 then. They are light in color. So if they have a high density, they're light in color. They're dark in color. Is that a choice? Nope. Keep trying. 4. So if they have a high density, they contain iron. What's the abbreviation for iron? Fe. How'd you know that? Yeah, right there. So if it's high density, it contains iron. So change that answer, guys. The number 1, the answer is 4. Let's go with, hey, Jenna, what did you get for number 2? The percentage of mafic minerals in an igneous rock increases. So there's the word mafic. What else? What happens with the color? For light, sorry, not light in color. It says darker in color and density increases. Absolutely. So we get more mafic. What does it mean? It gets more mafic. Where would I look on the chart to see that? Means we're going closer to the right. The farther to the right, the darker the color and the higher the density. How about you, Allison? Number 3, which rock contains felsic composition, low density, light in color, coarse grain? 3, that's granite. So number 3 is 3. Number 4, which statement is true of granite and gabbro? Landon, what do you guys have for that? They're both intrusive. Yep, granite and gabbro, they're both intrusive. Let me just point out the one that says answer 2, they both contain potassium feldspar. See how granite has potassium feldspar underneath it? If I go over to gabbro, gabbro does not. So that they do not both contain potassium feldspar. Alex R, did you get to number 5?
Yes.
A characteristic of an igneous rock would tell you about its environment of formation. What'd you pick? 2, that's its texture. So whether it is glassy or fine, that's going to be extrusive. Coarse or very coarse, that's going to be intrusive. Number 6. First of all, how many of you skipped number 6? Had a lot of people tell me second period. I didn't know that was a question. And they violated my number 1 rule of earth science by not reading all the words. Which graph represents a comparison to the average grain size of basalt, granite, and rhyolite? Yeah, let's see a show of fingers for this one. What'd you guys pick? All right, looking pretty good. Everybody's picked the right answer. That basalt and rhyolite are the same, while granite is a lot bigger. Perfect. That's excellent. So we could do one of 2 things. Would you guys like to start your homework or try the next chapter or the next page?
Homework.
All right, your homework will be, and page 19 and page 22. And it's kind of hefty amount of homework because, you do have, about 20 minutes.
19 and 22?
Yeah.
Oh, look at me. I already did one.
You did. Some people had already done 19 as well.
Alright.
19 is about, they're both about igneous rocks. 19 is my question, 22 is Regent's question. So go ahead and get started, 19 and 22.